Alright, I put off the Woody Fragrances video series for a couple of weeks and now I'm back on it today, and I've got Woody Powdery, Woody Musky video for you. And I've got one more video coming after this in the Woody series and it's done for good. Just one more, guys. One more video and I'll let you know when the video airs. But today I'm talking about Woody Powdery, Woody Musky fragrances. If you want to find out what they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about Woody Musky, Woody Powdery fragrances today. Do you enjoy this style? I enjoy this style. They can be a bit boring, but there are some that are really, really great, and I've got them here, and I'm going to let you know what they are. But just to recap what I've done so far, we started out with a basic Woody fragrances video. We did Woody Amber, Woody Leather, Woody Spicy, Woody Aromatic, Woody Citrus, Woody Aquatic, Woody Chypre. And today it's Woody Powdery, Woody Musky. And as I said, I've got one more coming up very soon. Stay tuned for that. But before I move on with the fragrances, I do want to let you know that Scent Club kit number 11 has dropped. And if you haven't gotten your kit yet, please do, as we are shutting down the store very, very soon. And there will not be any sales in the store whatsoever for some time. This is the kit. They are 5 ml bottles, and it's got 3 amazing fragrances that are perfect to end the summer with. It's Fresh Passiflora featuring peach, juicy peaches with passion fruit. And then we've got Malamata from Roost and Roost. It's a very green, very fresh, invigorating, lush green, fresh forest experience created by Dominic Ropion. And then finally it's Wave Child Watermelon Bomb. One of the best watermelon fragrances I've put my nose on. It's actually really kind of candy, sweet, fruity, bubblegummy, and then of course tropical, creamy, coconutty as well. Really fine fragrances, 3 amazing fragrances in kit number 11. Please get your kit before the store is shut, and let's go ahead and move on with the list. Starting off the list, remember this is a Woody Powdery, Woody Musky, so it could be one or the other or both together. This is DIOR Homme Parfum. You know about this one, don't you? My favorite designer fragrance. In fact, like I always say, this might actually be my favorite fragrance of all time. Really absolutely obsessed with the way it smells. It's taking DIOR Homme into a more luxury, thick, dense direction, adding a lot of not musky, but powdery, woody, and of course leathery notes in here. It's iris, sandalwood, leather, ambrette, agarwood, cedar, rose, and orange. It does have that lipsticky vibe, makeup vibe, leather at the same time. Imagine the lipstick smeared all over mom's leather purse. That smell captured there. It's amazing. It's one of the best fragrances. And it definitely is a great woody, powdery fragrance with leathery touches. But moving on to the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. It's Iris Palladium, this one right here. So this one does have some similar styles to the DNA of DIOR Homme, but it's a totally different fragrance. In fact, this is more like the DNA of DIOR Homme and DIOR Homme Intense, not Parfum. But this has cilantro, mugwort, guaiac wood, cedar, cardamom, lavender, violet, sandalwood, amber, benzoin, and vanilla. It's very powdery. It's very woody. It's a bit musky and some sweetness there. Ambery touches in the dry down. There's some aromatic touches that come in as well. What I like about it is it's got this really gorgeous ethereal quality about it. It's not really dense like the DIOR Homme Parfum. That is beastly, really thick fragrance. This is more ethereal, and it's paying tribute to the iris. It's called Iris Palladium. So you've got this very like flowy vibe here. Think drapes, you know, moving and flowing with the wind kind of hitting it, you know. That's kind of an experience I get with this one. So it has that kind of vibe. It's very, very smooth. It's very calming and easy to wear. It's got lavender in there as well, giving you that kind of soothing vibe. That is the fragrance here, Les Eaux Primordiales Iris Palladium. Again, it does have slight reminder of the DNA of DIOR Homme, DIOR Homme Parfum, no, DIOR Homme Intense and DIOR Homme, the original, but in a different way. But moving on to the house of AJMAL, it's Cashmere Musk. It's quite musky, it's quite powdery, and it's very woody as well. This combination is great. There's a whole video on the channel on cashmere fragrances, cashmere wood, cashmeran. If you're into the idea of this note, please go catch that video. There might be some overlap here and there. This is more woody, whereas the cashmeran, cashmere wood, cashmere note has woody characteristics. But this is musk 3 times. Top, heart, and base. We've got cashmeran here, saffron, ylang-ylang, cedar, jasmine, patchouli, lily of the valley. For me, it's mostly about the musks and the woods here, which creates a powdery effect. But along the way, you got some floral touches, some spices, and things like that. Earthy notes as well. I think this is one of the best from AJMAL. I really enjoy the whole cashmeran and musky experience, which creates that woody, powdery effect in the fragrance. If you like woody, powdery fragrances, you gotta try Cashmere Musk from the house of AJMAL. Middle Eastern house. I have a whole video on the channel. Go catch that. And the next fragrance I'm talking about is going to the house of KAYALI. It's the Wedding Silk Santal 36. This is a duo of fragrances, one a bit feminine targeted, one a bit masculine targeted. The Silk Santal is the one that's a bit more feminine targeted, but it's also very vanillic. It's a sandalwood and vanilla combo. It's very powdery, and then it has sugared musk, amber woods, nectarine, champagne, freesia, praline, orange blossom, oak moss, and a few other things going on. It smells super amazing. It's like a bit of a gourmand take on a creamy sandalwood with the effect of the powdery touches here. Lots of woods here, and then of course a lot of the notes create the powder. So it's a really great take on a woody, powdery fragrance, which just does have some slight musky touches as well. So that's the Wedding Silk Santal from the house of KAYALI. Then the second fragrance, the duo of KAYALI, the wedding fragrances. This is Velvet Santal 35. This is the more masculine take on the sandalwood fragrance from KAYALI. This is sandalwood with benzoin. There's tea leaves, white musk, cedarwood, jasmine petals. Really, really wonderful. I think these two sandalwood fragrances, even though the other one leans a bit feminine, they're very woody, powdery. So anyone into these kind of notes should definitely check these out. I find them to be two of the best fragrances from this house that are not sugary, sweet, kind of gourmandesque fragrances. And this Velvet Santal is really classy, very elegant, smooth and creamy sandalwood with some sweet ambery notes, flowers, and musky touches as well. Really awesome scent here. It's the Wedding Velvet Santal 35. Then going to the house of Atelier MATERI. It's Bois d'Ambrette. Now my bottle says Peau d'Ambrette, but they changed the name. This is a very sexy fragrance. It has a lot of ambrette in the notes. Ambrette is a very unique note that creates a musky characteristic in fragrances. It's also a bit fruity and it's a bit boozy as well. And here it creates a powdery, woody characteristic with all of its muskiness. So it's ambrette, angelica, amorous, sandalwood, musk, ambroxan, ginger, mandarin orange. There's some vegetal touches in here as well. But in the end, you've got a very powdery, woody, musky fragrance that's super, super sexy and very elegant as well. I really enjoyed it. It does have some light hints of the Peau. Diptyque has a fragrance with the word Peau. I'm drawing a blank. I think that's the reason why they might have changed the name from Peau to Bois. But both are kind of similar, but not. I think they both also use the note of ambrette, whereas this one doesn't have a lot of iris. The other one is all about iris. I think the other one's called Fleur de Peau, now that I remember it. But either way, Bois d'Ambrette, check it out. It's super sexy. I hope you guys get to try it. Then we're going to a male-targeted release from the house of Loewe. It's 001 Man, this one right here. So this is in that powdery, woody style. Very musky as well. I feel like this is Loewe's take on something like DIOR. Very distant though. I don't find them to be very similar, but I feel like the idea might be similar. This has violets, carrot seeds, ambrette, musk, and cypress. Really sexy once again. Really, really wonderful offering. According to some sales associates at Loewe when I travel to Europe and visit the stores, they say that the 001 man and the 001 woman are supposed to be layered together. I'm not sure how true that is, but they have overlapping notes. I kind of would see that and it would balance out the fragrance, but In this case here, I really like the vegetal touches of the carrot seeds in this. It's a really sexy fragrance and definitely very niche style for a designer offering. Loewe 001, man, wonderful offering from that house. Then going to the house of J.U.S, Jus or Just Parfums, it's Super Fusion. This one right here. So this is a very unique powdery, musky, woody fragrance in that it got somewhat styles of ambroxan, but it's molecular notes, but additional notes as well to kind of create this very unique, almost like a molecular fragrance experience. I mean, it does have a lot of ISOE super, so it's super woody, but it also has immortelle, heliotrope, powdery notes, powdery musk, and incense. So in the end, it's very powdery, it's very woody, and also musky, and it's a very unique smell, so it's kind of addicting. The more you wear it, the more you want to smell it. If you like molecular fragrances, very woody, powdery, musky fragrances, try Super Fusion from the house of J.U.S. Let me know if you guys are familiar with that house. Put a comment down below. So up next, going to the house of Frederic Malle. Frederic Malle has some great powdery fragrances, and this is a woody, powdery, musky fragrance created by Maurice Roussel. This is Dante Bras. You guys familiar with this one? It's very powdery, and it has a lot of violet as a note. So violet can go powdery. This is not the candied violet experience. It's, maybe it is actually. I don't consider it a candied, but way in the background there's a little hint of the candied violet touch. But it's violet with musk, pine, cashmeran, heliotrope, woodsy notes. There's sandalwood here, patchouli, incense, jasmine. Not necessarily one of the more popular fragrances from the Frederic Malle house. I feel like it's an acquired taste as well. The violet, powdery woods, musky thing is a bit unique for some people. Maybe they might not be able to tolerate it. I like it. I don't love it, but I feel like it's a great representation of woody, powdery, woody, musky fragrance, and I think you guys should try and see and judge for yourselves. And Maurice Roussel is a very well-known perfumer. He's done a really good job here. I think the #1 fragrance from this house that he created is the Musk Ravageur. But yeah, check out Dante Bras. Really great representation for a woody, powdery, woody, musky fragrance. Then going to the house of Ella K, it's Musk K. You guys familiar with Ella K? Ella K is a great house. I have videos on the channel. Go catch them. They're fairly new. All fragrances created by Sonia Constant. And this Musk K is one of my favorites from the house. Really love it. And I love its musky qualities. It's clean. It's closer to the skin. It's more of a skin scent. But the smell is super fantastic if you haven't tried it. Featuring notes of white musk, sand lily, white pepper, salty iris, mangrove driftwood, vetiver, ambro fix, and cedar. It has that driftwood note. I don't get a lot of marine touches, if at all. I feel like the fragrance is extremely clean. It smells a bit laundry-like. White musk giving me that style. It has sand lily. Perhaps there's a bit of a watery thing happening throughout it, and also salty. The salty iris, slight. It's not like uber salty, like it's not something like Lumari's porthole where it's full of salt. Just a really nice, clean musk fragrance with woods and powder and, musky notes. So this is Musk K from the house of Ella K. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. This next fragrance from the house of d'Orsay, I'm going to try and pronounce the French. Je Porche un Mystère. So this happens to be my #1 from this house. If you caught my video on this house, I find it to be super sexy. This is Je Porche un Mystère. It's a powdery, woody fragrance with figs, created by Anne-Sophie Bahagel over at Flair. Man, I can smell the DNA of that house in this fragrance so much. I feel like the fragrances, the ladies over at Flair create some sexy fragrances. This is definitely one of the sexiest. It's sandalwood, cedar, pepper leaves, fig leaves for a really gorgeous woody powdery fragrance with the whole fig thing coming in there as well, adding that kind of a slight green, slight fruity experience. I feel like I get a little bit of the fruits and also a little bit of the leaves in here as well. But in the end, it's very woody, it's very powdery, spicy, and green and fruity as well. This is definitely very sexy, guys. Je Porche un Mystère AC from the house of d'Orsay. It's not going to be my #1 for a long time, though. I think they have another fragrance launching that I've already sampled. That's super amazing. Stay tuned for me to speak about that one soon. But going to the house of Costume National. This is Paper Plane. Paper Plane is a fragrance that is a skin scent. It's more of those kind of woody, powdery, musky fragrances that are not overwhelming. And once again, the idea of ethereal comes to mind. It has notes of cotton flower, oak moss, paper, vetiver, pepper, incense, sage, musk, cypriol, amber. There's a lot of notes credited here, but it doesn't wear super strong. It has that very flowy, paper plane like effect when you're wearing it, you know? It really does have that kind of an effect. I would say ethereal as well because it wears like that. But it's a clean fragrance, somewhat spicy, somewhat woody, actually not somewhat, very woody, and also very, very powdery here with some slight touches of smoke and amber coming in. It hasn't been talked a lot about, and I think the brand hasn't really sold in the States or distributed in the States for a long time. Maybe that's why people are not talking about it. But I feel like if you like molecular fragrances, you're going to really enjoy Paper Plane. So that's Paper Plane from the house of Costume National. Next, going to the house of Comme des Garçons. It's a 0, this one right here. But guys, I wasn't really impressed with this one too much when it first launched. It has grown on me and I really love the way it smells. For some strange reason, the synthetic rose oxide that's in here, along with the varnish accord, creates for a smell that I really become addicted to it. But it's a lot of cedarwood here, bergamot, there's a lot of musk, Haitian vetiver, and of course the synthetic rose oxide and varnish accord. What a strange combination. But it's so addicting. It's different. It's very Comme des Garçons for sure. And it's created by Fanny Ball. So she does some good work, some not so good. But again, I wasn't really wowed by this before. Now, for some strange reason, I really like that weird synthetic rose oxide varnish accord that's in here, contrasted against the woods and the musky, powdery touches. Really unique. 0 from the house of Comme des Garçons. And then last but not least, I'm ending the list here with Affinessence Santal Basmati. Are you guys familiar with this one? Very woody, powdery for sure. It's sandalwood, lots of it. It's very creamy. It's very smooth. But the basmati rice creates the powdery effect against the sandalwood. So in the end, it's a nice balance of this creaminess and also the powderiness. The basmati rice is amazing against the sandalwood. But in addition to those notes, you also have iris, cashmeran, and patchouli. Very calming, soothing fragrance that's amazing to wear. It's not uber complex. It's mostly about the rice and it's mostly about the sandalwood together. And then of course the cashmeran, which already has the woody, powdery, musky characteristics. So everything works really wonderfully together to create a really amazing, soothing, comforting fragrance called Santal Basmati from Affinessence. Are you guys familiar with that house? That's pretty much the only fragrance I have from that house. I really think it's one of their best and definitely worth talking about and featuring here in this woody, powdery, woody, musky fragrances video. What are your thoughts on these fragrances, and do you enjoy this particular style? Do let me know. Put a comment down below. Also, let me know if there's another fragrance that I missed that you should, or I should actually, well, you should highlight it and I should, get my nose on it. Put a comment down so I can find out. But either way, guys, as I said, there will be one more video in this series, Woody series. If you want to watch the rest of the videos, I have a playlist with all of the videos. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like almost 10 videos. And by the time we finish, it's going to be about 12 videos. So you can watch them back to back. There might even be a few fragrances overlapping from one video to the other, but I made sure I didn't do that too much. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.